Mm-hmm. And the whole point is, on this video, we've been doing this quite, like I said, we're going to talk about maybe needs to be something different in 2026. Okay. We've been bashing on about DeFi. We did it last Sunday. We did it the Sunday before. We've done it every single Sunday. But I wanted to give you kind of a bulletproof way that Parker's been running, Abby running. How many members have we got now? 136, I think, or 139?
139. Wow.
You are. Can we show screen? Okay. So, Parker, please can you be locked in because we're about to run this, okay? We are live.
I'm right here.
Okay, so you have to...
You're such a troll today, bro. You're such a troll.
He's so shit. So I want to go over 225 bull run bags, right? And I think this is important because, like I said, a lot of guys we can just show you most people on just even Bitcoin, right? Most people that we know bought the tops. Would you agree?
Yeah, every time. They never come into the top.
Okay, and
never
it goes back
at an all-time high.
And it goes back to like you getting the price you deserve, right? You could buy one asset, okay, e.g. Bitcoin at 20K, or you could buy the same asset at 125. What's the problem with that, Parker?
You buy at the price you deserve, and then you catch the whole tail end down.
Because everybody would love to go back in a time machine and back at $1, $2, $3, etc. But the issue we were having, or at least the issue I was having in 2025, before I really got speaking to you, was like, when do you sell? I was getting my haircut today, right? And the guy said, oh, you got 4.5 Bitcoin. That's nice. That's cute, right? Why don't you sell? And the problem I was having was, well, if I was to sell, what would you do with the money, right? Don't want to buy a house. Don't really want to buy anything else. Already bought the car. My issue is if I know Bitcoin's going to go up infinity, well, I don't want to have to buy and then rebuy back in. So what does that equal, Parker?
It's kind of like real estate, where a lot of people are worried about the price of homes, and the price of the home only matters when you're trying to sell it. Most real estate investors are switching to where they're focused on cash flowing and renting out those homes. And what we do is apply that same method to our crypto, to where we no longer have the pressure of needing our home, our Bitcoin's price to go up in value. And we're able to just extract cash flow from that Bitcoin. And then over time, as Bitcoin heads towards that, let's say $1 million assets, we have cash flow the whole way and maintain exposure. So it's getting the best of both worlds right there without the necessity of a phone.
Exactly. Because, if you think about like normal fucking world life, if you have a house, right, or if you have a rental property, the goal is obviously for the house to go up. But the whole realization of why real estate is, viable is obviously the rental income, right? Most people would like to get a couple of houses under their name, especially in the UK, and make passive income, right? That's what most people want to do. But the issue is, I don't know about in your country, Parker, to buy a fucking house in the UK, it's becoming out of reach for the 20-year-old, the 25-year-old, the 30-year-old. It's just becoming so far out of reach. We look at our mum and dad's, right? My mum and dad's house have probably went up like 200, 300 grand, right? So how can a normal person that is in debt buy a fucking house? It's just exactly. Impossible, let alone for the amount of time and effort they have to do to get the rent. It barely pays you anything, right?
Exactly. It's super hard. You can't just buy a small piece of it. Whereas Bitcoin, you can get started with $100. Real estate, it's just not the same. You've got to be saving your way up to be able to afford the home. And then at that point, inflation's happened for another 2 to 3 years, if not more, of you saving for that home. And it's just that barrier to entry is very, very strong. And Bitcoin allows the everyday person, whether you are rich, poor, or below average, just to get in and get started.
Yeah. And that's what I'm going to make this video about. So if we can talk about the 25K portfolio versus the 25K portfolio using DeFi, right? So if we can bang this up on screen, Mark, if you can, there's two scenarios, right? You get the, he's fumbling. There we go. And just as we were pulling this up, have you seen the prices? Bitcoin 93K, like everything's starting to move. And I just seen there in chat, Bitcoin on the move. A hodler gets excited about that. I don't know about you, Parker, but I'm numb to like Bitcoin going up, Bitcoin going down, right? For me, it's just like, okay,
I didn't even
whatever.
know it went up until we saw.
I literally didn't know. I'll check my portfolio and I'll be like, oh, we're up at $500,000 in profit, a little bit of dopamine. But like, I've seen this so many fucking times that I'm just so numb to it, right? And this is what I want to talk about when we compare the 25K HODL portfolio, which by the way is a fucking great start, right? That is absolutely fantastic compared to the more kind of way that we would run something with a 25K bag, which is using this to get income, e.g. more assets. Because again, if we go back to real estate, the 25K bill run bag, what real estate is he buying? Fucking a shed? Nothing, right? He's not doing anything, right? So he's buying nothing. What can you buy? I don't want to pull a bright move on this fucking stream, but like, I guarantee you,
prefab shed.
yeah, he's buying nothing. Or he's having to go to the bank and saying, please, sir, let me have some money. So he takes out a mortgage, and it just the cash flow thing, it doesn't work. He does this for like a couple $100, right? So there's a new way, and chances are you're probably interested in cryptocurrency if you're watching videos like this anyways, right? And most people think that there's massive risk, right? How many guys have we spoke to, you know, even on live chat last Sunday, that think this is so fucking risky? And we always say, hey guys, the risk is in the assets you choose. If we can just give you a way to get income off assets using DeFi, and we've done this 139 times, wouldn't that be nice, right? Because we don't want to have to prey on like a 10x coin. I think those times are gone, right? If anybody's pulling 10x's right now, please let us know, because I can't remember this time that somebody's pulled the 10x, let alone something that's went down 99%, right? So I think we have to get under the mindset, and we were talking about this in Sunday's stream, right? All these YouTubers talking about top 5 altcoins, etc. We need to get rid of this fucking garbage, right? There needs to be, you're saying would be, I win for sure, right? That's what you like to preach on this channel, etc. And I always say input equals output, right? We have to stop gambling, right? Cryptocurrency is already risky enough, so let's try and win for sure with strong assets. Would you agree?
Oh, I like that. I actually love that. That's good.
Yeah, you like it, right? Anyways,
who made that phrase? Who made that phrase?
Cut that. So, well, we're live. HODL investor, let's say we do a 10x, right? Let's say in an ideal scenario and the rainbows are all fucking nice and like our dogs and cats and our picket fence and our wife never moans at us, right? Doesn't fucking happen, right? But let's say the HODL investor does get the 10x, right? Well, he leaves with 250K. That's nice. But what do you do now? Well, now you can buy a house. How much rent do you get for a 250K property, Parker?
I wouldn't even know, to be honest.
How
much cash flow after paying your mortgage, actually? I mean, not a lot.
Right? So let's say we have the same 10x, right? And an ideal scenario using a HODL and DeFi hybrid version, right? That guy could leave with $500,000 or $1 million. But most importantly, he has income, right? Which is the biggest thing people don't understand. And the biggest thing why we're all on this fucking planet, we need income, right? We need pieces of paper at the end of the day. We need income, right? We need to survive. We need stuff to buy. We want to go on 2 trips. We want to do stuff, right? You're coming to Thailand, Parker, in 1 month. How can you do that? Because you got income.
Cash flow will solve basically every problem you ever have if you have enough.
Interesting. So, like I said, we run a DeFi kind of group. You know what's funny? When I made this video a while ago, remember my first channel, the small channel that I had? We were at 100 members. Now we're at 138, in fact, 139. And I was doing the maths before. How much do you think all of our members collectively make per day? This is obviously combined. Do you know the maths?
Oh, dude, some of them have such big portfolios. It'd probably be huge. How would you even calculate that? All the onboarding calls?
Well, I did the maths before. This is when we were at 100. And I calculated about 5,000 to 6,000 per day, which is on the small end now, but collectively, obviously we've got big guys like Grant, etc. But this to me isn't important, right? Because you could look at this and say, oh, that's very well and good, Jake. How does that help me, right? So this isn't going to help you, right? But it's just something to show. And we always talk about these testimonials, etc. Like, this is probably the best one for me when I think his name is Jack. He bought the 3-man sauna. I don't know fucking why, but he just wanted a 3-man sauna. But the most important thing was he was running Solana pools and he got more income, right? That was the most important thing, regardless of what happened to Solana, because Solana was at like, I don't know, $250 back then. Now it's at 100 and some change, right? The point was he was getting more Solana, right? This is the goal for me. So I want guys to like start thinking about the goals for them, right? Parker, this, you'll be here. This will be you, okay? Because you're so small. But that'll be you, right? Bro, you think you have a chance boxing me? Like, Mark,
bro, you're addicted, bro.
Bro, you have fucking no chance. You're here maximum, and this is you. But this was always my goal, like real talk, like we can joke aside, like this was my goal. My goal was to travel the world, not be stressed, and just build something online, right? Because I remember the days when I was 17, 18, 19, 20. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. We talked about how I worked in the gym. You were working as well in the car dealership, right? we wanted to work hard, but we were working in the wrong way, right? Does that make sense? Some people can work hard, but they can work in the completely wrong way, right? You can work hard or you can work smart. Would you agree?
Yeah, exactly. If you're working really hard at your W-2 salary job, you're not going to get any more income. You're really, really not. You need to work really hard at your 5 to 9 afterward because your potential there is uncapped. And I can tell you that firsthand from experience. You can work as hard as you want at your day job, and you're probably not going to make as much money as learning crypto and DeFi the right way or starting a business the right way.
Yeah, and it might not be about crypto, but chances are it is because you're here for a reason, right? But just speaking of that, I remember when I used to, before the gym job that I had, I was delivering pizzas for Domino's and I worked at Spar, which is like, I guess, a Walmart or some small maybe a 7-Eleven for you guys in the USA. And I was doing the maths. This is your current dilemma. We'll talk about that. I was doing the maths and I was like, I'm working all day long. Okay. I was up at 7 to be at the Spar job by 9, finished at 5:30, started Domino's at 6 to 11. So I was working hard, but I was in the wrong vehicle because I was doing the maths and maybe I was making 25 to 30K per year, which is fine and great, but there was no way in hell that I would be able to have this, even just to Thailand or travel the world and just treat yourself and your mates. It was impossible, right? Because I wasn't being paid enough, let alone I was stuck to this location. So the whole point about building a cryptocurrency bull run bag, if you think 2026 is going to make it for you, and it might well do that, right? But there's a big difference when you have to sell as the HODL investor because you realize that cash, right? But then what, right? Because you're going to spend that cash and then you're back at square one. So there has to be a way, and this is when we tie this back to like real estate using DeFi for your income or your portfolio, where you can get income off your portfolio, and then you're kind of in this kind of nice state where you can live off that while still stacking coins. Because there's no other way you could do it, right? You make a good bull run bag, yada yada yada. You realize the money, you pay your taxes, hopefully, but then what do? Because you're going to spend it. You're just going to spend it. If you've never had money, I promise you, 250K in the example we're going to go over, and we're going over in this, you're going to fucking spend it so fucking fast, right? There's going to be a car, there's going to be a holiday, there's going to be a wife and then a side wife and a handbag, and then you're just going to fucking lose it, okay? So you guys have to understand that when you make money, if and when you make money, you need to be able to control the expenses, right? And what a nice way it would be to monetize your portfolio where you don't have to worry about that, right? Because I've seen it happen so many times. How many guys do we know that get a crypto pump and they fucking blow it all?
Oh yeah, spend it all.
It goes.
Chase some degen shit and it just goes back to zero. That's my personal dilemma. I sell my Bitcoin and then what? What do I buy? What do I want to buy that's not Bitcoin? You know, and it gets super hard as I pull it out just to be like, okay, now what? I just want to put it back.
Pause. You pull it out? Wait, what are you saying? What the fuck's he saying, bro?
No, I'm talking about a hodler. They say you're a hodler and you sell your Bitcoin, and then maybe you're waiting for a dip. But outside waiting for the dip, if you're someone that believes in Bitcoin long term, the way that I do at least, there's not a lot of places you want to put it besides back in crypto, back into Bitcoin. So it just gets really hard to, like, where am I going to take it? Where am I going to put it? I want more Bitcoin. More Bitcoin.
You got to word your words a little bit different there because we're on the wrong podcast. But that's a good point, right? Because like I said, I was getting my haircut today, right? And it's the same barber, and he's like, "Oh, how's that Bitcoin thing doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, I mean, I think we're having a pump today, but I've not checked in a while." He's like, "How can you not check? You got 4.5 Bitcoin. Like, why don't you sell?" And I was like, "To sell to what? Let's because he would like to sell, right? He would want to sell, but then it's like,
sell to what?
Sell to what, right? Now, if you have some things and your goals and like you want a house, that would make sense, right? That would make sense. But a lot of people believe that eventually, we're not talking about altcoins, we're talking about some of them, but like most people would agree that Bitcoin is going to be worth more today than it is, or worth more in 10 years than it is today, right? I think we can all agree, right? And a lot of people have started to understand that because in 2025, their altcoin didn't go up, their meme coin didn't go up, their gaming coins didn't go up, their AI coins didn't go up. And most people would rather have been best just buying Bitcoin and Ethereum and maybe Solana, right? So if we don't want to sell our Bitcoin because we believe it's going to go up, like once you're out, you're out. You have to get back in. That's the problem with the HODL investor, right? You can sell a strong asset, but if you believe it's going to go up forever with some dips along the way, etc., it's like, how do you play that game? Then you have to become this trader and you're stressed if you're buying at this price and you don't get back in. You have less Bitcoin. Maybe you have one Bitcoin you sell and then you try and get back in, but now you only have 0.9. You're constantly trying to get back up to 1, but it keeps going up. For me, that's madness, right? I don't want to lose my 4.5 Bitcoin again. I lost them to Celsius in 22 and I've done so fucking hard to get back, right? So you guys need to understand, if you want to use your Bitcoin or whatever asset, we can talk about pools and VFAT in a second. That's what we're going to really do in a more practical way. How do we keep the coins but also get an income, right? That's basically what we do night and day. I think we've got 4 onboarding calls back to back to back to back. And a lot of people are starting to wake up to this. It's a very small niche, right? And a lot of people think, oh, it's scammy, I'm staking it, I have to give it to Alex Mashinsky, I'm going to give it to Celsius. We want full control, right? The whole goal is full control. Make sense?
100%.
For somebody that just woke up, I need some more fucking talk, bro. You know, I've done fucking 2 long forums. I've done a fucking other call.
That one, bro. You hammered that one.
Yeah, because I'm fucking locked in, bro. And he wants a pay rise. Can you believe that? He was moaning me today.
What do you mean, bro?
Anyways, so let's go back to the HODL and let's just show you how this works in practical terms. This is an ideal scenario, okay? But I want you to, like, let's be realistic, right? Let's say XRP, this is the example I'm going to use, right? XRP and Ethereum. Most guys have XRP and Ethereum that have joined our group. This is probably one of the most pools that people like to run that have an XRP and Ethereum, right? We've seen it a bunch of times. There's not many pools, but most guys that have these assets, they typically run this, right? If Ethereum 2x's from here, this is just hypothetical, but I promise it'll make sense. And XRP 5x's. Again, we start with a 25K bag, right? So you got 62K in XRP, 25K in Ethereum. You make 87.5K. It's good, right? At least you made something. But
Not
again,
bad.
the issue is it's not bad. Very good. Better than most people.
If you sold,
But again,
if you sold it all,
and again, even if you sold it all, the dilemma that we just talked about is, what do you do with 87.5?
now what?
You fucked. You fucked. Now what? You buy a fucking, I don't know, an Audi R8 and you're back at zero. It's no good pulling up to the fucking spar with an Audi R8, delivering pizzas with an Audi R8. No good. Okay, so let's say we have the same strategy in XRP and Ethereum, but let's just say we're using DeFi pools, right? This is what really we're going to tie this into. And again, I want you guys to start thinking about, when you're watching this recording or wherever you are, how can I do this? Because me and Parker, we can't click the buttons for you. We do these for free, so you can go and do them by yourself, right? You know, you can do this right now on VFAT.
Yeah.
This is an old, go on.
Unless you're at the mastermind in Thailand, then we can click the buttons for you.
Soft plug. We've already sold out all the fucking seats, so maybe next time. Anyways,
Maybe next year.
VFAT. Maybe next year. 2027. Maybe in China. Anyways, you distracted me, young man. So you can actively go and do this, and we're going to do this in a second. We've got some guys, give us some trusted places for BTC pools. Don't worry, we will. And I see you all the time in this chat, Blockchain Money. You've been here for fucking weeks and weeks and weeks. Okay? So you have a speed issue, Blockchain Money. And that's not to say anything bad about you. We're going to fucking show you, but like, we've shown you this so many times. You remember Blockchain Money? I've seen him so many times in these chats, especially Sunday.
Yeah, I think I recognize that one. It says number one chatter, so he must be here a lot.
He's here a lot, right? Anyways, the goal is to get more XRP and Ethereum. And again, there's some live pools here. This is from like 2 months ago, but I'm going to go and fact check these in a second. We're looking at XRP and Ethereum, right? We're trying to set a wide enough range, okay, and assets we like. The whole thing here is, this might be going over your heads. We don't choose the portfolio for you, right? Chances are you got in crypto, okay, and this is the nice thing about us. We don't have to tell you what coin to buy. I don't want to tell you what coin to buy. I would rather just tell you for free how to get more of that coin, because that would be nice, right? A lot of people, you know, live paycheck to paycheck. They've done all the descent they could in 2025. 2025 wasn't a year from them. But what happens now if you put this on a turbocharge on VFAT, for example, and we can get you more coins for free? That would be nice, right? And you can do this actively right now. So this is what we and Parker and 139 people in our group are doing right now. And this is how I believe we're going to dominate in 2026. Okay.
And that's what I realized. Like, my boxing coach is like, what crypto should I buy? And I realized I haven't had to tell someone what asset to buy in so long. And I'm glad that I don't. I never want to do that. But I can help take the crypto that you already like and monetize it and just get more of that asset for free.
Yeah.
And that's the game.
So that's the game. So again, people are going to ask about ranges, etc. We can do some live examples in a second. But let's just say most people want that like kind of 6 to 10% per month. It sounds crazy, but remember, there's massive risk on betting on cryptocurrency. And we're paid on people and traders buying and selling. We're paid on the volume, for example, right? So let's just say you're doing 8% of 50K, which is like 4K per month, 1K per week. Really, what I want you to think about is not the dollar value, especially if you believe in cryptocurrency, right? This is going to be a little bit of a maths for some people, but I'm trying to break this down the easiest way. My goal is to get more coins, right? If you need income, you could obviously do a hybrid version where you're cashing some out and you use some. And we talked about this on Sunday with the 30 to 50K portfolio. It's like most of you guys don't even know you could like scale down your hours, if not leave your job, to get more coins, right? So it just really depends what life you want in 2026 and throughout the next 10, 20, 30 years, right? My life isn't your life. Parker's life isn't your life. You guys need to decide what you actually want, okay? And then how do you go and do it, okay? So you guys need to start thinking better and thinking smarter rather than just being a hodler. Because even if you hold through 2026 and you get that bull run, you still have to click the sell button, right? And when you do, what do you do at that point? Because again, that was the biggest concern I had in every bull run, especially 2025, although we never got what we expected, is like, what do you do with the money? And I just could not answer that question for so long. So again, 12.5K in XRP, 12.5K in Ethereum, it turns into 50K, whatever. But the main point is you have a bag that now prints more coins, more fees, and you're monetizing your assets in the way like real estate. Okay? That make sense?
Yes, sir. Let's keep on going.
Right, I'm gonna go to the next bit, but I need you to give some value. Give us some trusted places for BTC pools. How would you answer that?
Oh man, I mean, we show you every day on stream VFAT, which is going to pull a list of all those top places to find some BTC pools. And you're just going to type in BTC on farms or pools, and it's going to pull an aggregate of literally everything that you can find. And you can start to stick with names that you recognize, like let's talk about Uniswap, Aerodrome, etc. Right? And you can start to look around and just experiment smallly with those pools. VFAT's nice because you don't have to go venture out to these random websites now. You can use that as a tool, and it's all going to be in one place. And I feel like we've shown that every live stream and about every video we've done for the last like 3-4 months. So it's like, hey, bro, that's the place we've shown every day. Let's use that place.
Yes. So if we can jump this on screen, blockchain money. Again, nobody else will do this for you. Most people will just tell you to fucking buy their top 5 coins. Again, that doesn't fucking help you. I can see your comment before. Only BTC is a goal for me. So blockchain money, you're a great fucking example of somebody that understands that Bitcoin is the strongest asset, that you should be acquiring more Bitcoin if you can. So your question was give you some trusted places. Bitcoin's not going to make you 100%, 200%, 300%, but at least it's doing something. The whole goal for me and most people is to stack as many sats. EGS sat is like a small percentage of a Bitcoin, right? If you can do that over the long term, I got you. You'll be absolutely fine. So what I want you to do, blockchain money, and I don't want to hear this question from you again, okay? What I want you to do with your little Bitcoin that you have, I want you to come on VFAT, okay? And again, I want you to set up your wallets, etc., etc. We're not going to hold your hand to do that. Just be sensible. I want you to start a pool with $50 in one of these pools, okay? And I want you to tell us on Sunday how it went. So what you're going to do is type in BTC. You can either go against a stable coin, you can go against Ethereum. The whole goal for you and people out there is just to start, right? Because your first pool is not going to be your last pool. Your first pool that me and Parker really recommend is just something you like and something you test with $50 just so you can see it working. And that is like the aha moment. You know, everybody knows how to buy crypto, but if I told my mom and dad to buy Bitcoin, they'd be like, what the fuck does that mean, right? So it's just really going into layers and layers and layers and layers of crypto. And this is like a specific niche, right? So I remember the first time I bought Bitcoin, I think it was on Binance. I don't know what the fuck to do. I put my credit card here. How do I get the coins? What do I buy? Etc. etc. So it's just like you don't know what you don't know. So blockchain money, VFAT, BTC, choose a pool, $50. We'll see you on Sunday. GG. All right, let's go further. Now we're going to talk about having goals. Goals is important. Parker's goal in Thailand is not to get broken rib, but he's going to have the harsh reality that he's going to get a broken rib. But, you know, he put this on me. So I think we always talk about most people's incomes, and I always check this to you, Parker, but you don't fucking know, is $3,000 per month, about 36 to 45K after taxes. It doesn't really matter. You need a fucking goal, okay? You don't go at the gym and just fucking turn up. That'll be dumb, right? You have a goal. Are we hitting chest today? How are we going to eat after? Am I going to sleep on time? Am I taking this supplements? There's a fucking structure. Once you get the hang of it, At least for me, I know what day it is. I'm going to the gym here. I know what to eat. I know the right things to do. But if you're starting out, you have no fucking idea. So the best thing to do is to have a go. Okay. And once you have a go, you can start to structure it backwards to frontwards, if that makes sense, on how to do it in a monetized way. So if we have a goal of 3K per month, e.g., to replace your income, not to quit your job, just to have that peace of mind. Because again, we talked about this before. When I was working at Exercise for Less, which was a sales gym job, I was very fucking scared. I'm on screen. I was very fucking scared of my boss just being like breathing over my neck. And once I got to this stage where I was making my income, it was like, just felt way more confident because I was so scared of losing that job, right? So fucking scared of him saying, Jake, you're fired, right? And once you can get to this stage, or at least cut down your hours, whatever, it's almost like you can just breathe a little bit, right? Especially if you're in a high sales job or like stuff like that. So if we go for the 3K and we have a current portfolio, most of you guys probably have a 30K portfolio right now. And if you don't, that's fine. Keep building up to it. Most of you guys might have more than this. It just depends where you are. If we're going for 8 to 10% per month, that would hit our goal, right? But it can't just be that, because we can't just click a button or click our fingers. There actually needs to be some action steps. So what you guys need to do is, again, go on VFAT, etc. I want you to start going on VFAT, typing in the coins you have, your blue chips, not your riskier ones right now. And I want you to start doing the maths, right? Just like I told Blockchain Money to start his first pool with $50. I want some of you guys to go and fucking do that, right? And then come back on Sunday with me and him and just see how's it going, right? Because once you can do this with $50, you can do it with 500, you can do it with $5,000. We tell all of our guys, especially Grant, the biggest guy that we have, he started with a very small pool and now he's scaling in the hundreds of thousands, right? It was about learning the frameworks, pulling up to the gym, okay, doing the reps, making sure the form was good, and then he could come in heavier. Because if you do the bad form in the gym, what you get is a fucking broken bicep, right? And then you're done for good. E.g., you get a bad portfolio, you will lose your whole back. So it's very important that you guys understand what you're doing before you start this. Step 2 is you set up the pools, right? Most people probably have 10 to 12.
I've got a question in chat that's going along with this. A question in chat. If I put money in a pool, what's the chance I lose something? I think we could address that in the segment that's coming up here real quick, too. It looks like you have 3 different options. It's like, what are the odds that he loses money?
Well, go on. You want to take that, or you want me to keep going?
Just address that in this part down here. I think I see it coming, kind of. You talk about a risk.
You see it coming? Wouldn't be the first. So most people... we recommend start with 2 to 3 pools, right? You got to calm down. Okay. And the whole point is you have a DeFi position 1, a DeFi position 2, a DeFi position 3. Some people have more. For guys out there that have 50 to 60 coins, I want you to start scaling that down, because at least for me, if there's just way too many coins, way too many pools, I'm all over the fucking place, right? So what was the part you said that you see coming before I move on?
If I put money in a pool, what's the chance I lose something?
Well, there's loads of things you can do, right? So is it a risky asset? Are you talking about if you log in with a wrong password? Like, what are we talking about here? I need more context.
Yeah, no, I thought I saw a part coming where you showed like a black hole, like a risky spot. I thought I saw that coming.
I don't think that's what he means.
Yeah,
I think. Go on.
Essentially, the biggest way to lose money is bad assets. So if you're opening up a store, if you're opening up a pool and you're selling 2 assets, but one of them can just go to 0 overnight, it's GG. It's game over because you have no money left. Your inventory went to 0. If you're monetizing stuff like Bitcoin or Ethereum, Solana, things like that are more than likely going to increase in value, if not maintain their value, then you're not going to lose any money. You're not going to lose. I've never lost it. And so things can happen. Things can go wrong. Your wallets can get hacked. A smart contract can get hacked. But I can tell you I've done this for like 2 or 3 years. I've never lost money in any way, shape, or form outside of picking bad assets. Bad assets. I've only ever lost money through a bad asset. I've never lost money through running a system or just opening the pool itself. Just bad asset selection.
Yeah. If you have risky coins, man, like the easiest way I explain this, I can't be going to, I think it was Zach here. He had a avocado pool in Solana, some avocado fucking coin. I don't know why. He was printing so much fucking fees. He held the coin anyways.
He made so much money.
Yeah, another example is what's that guy that has Zora code? Is it what's his name?
Kyle.
So Kyle has this coin called Zora, right? And you know, he already held the coin anyway. So I want you guys to start thinking about, we don't choose what, everybody has their favorite coin. I have the H bar, he has the Sui, etc., right? We all have our little coins that we're married to, right? It's not about that, because if those coins went to down or they went to zero, you're already in them anyways. Like, we're not telling you guys to choose our coins. That doesn't help you. We don't do anything of that. In fact, it probably does you a disservice, because then we're like, oh, is that coin still doing well because I told this guy and this guy and this guy? That's not what we want to do, right? We want you guys to start thinking about, hey, let's open up our little Coinbase, let's open up a little Binance. I've got some riskier assets here, I've got some blue chip assets here, but if I could get more of them, it's a win-win. The only way it becomes a lose-lose if you're going too tight with your ranges, etc., and that's a whole different video for another, or a whole different story for another video. But if you're doing asset to asset and not chasing high APYs, and you've got a wide range and not a tight range, you guys should be fine. But again, the whole way I like to take this for what?
Oh, just finish real quick.
I'm finished. He's so bad, bro. He's the worst
so,
guy, bro. He's fucking terrible. Get him out of here.
There's a bit of a delay. He said, so basically no altcoins. So I think that response means that you kind of missed my point there. It's not no altcoins. I mean, you shouldn't buy an altcoin that you don't already hold. If you already hold it, then your added risk level is not changing. So if you already hold Fortcoin and you can monetize it, make 300% a year off of that, I would not say there's an added risk to there. If anything, because you're pairing it with USDC or Solana, there would be less risk. You'd slow your loss if anything happens. So it's just, you don't want to change your exposure level just to monetize. But the biggest risk is going to be the risk of the asset itself that you are holding, whether that's one of them, two of them, etc. And then in your chat, I see you will lose money to impermanent loss. This is not a simple thing, da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, well, if you listen to my core message, at least, it's that all of my pools are opened from capital that is collateral. So that completely eliminates impermanent loss, because I'm levered over a 1x. I'm using equity out of my Bitcoin, just like I would a home, to get into cash flowing position. So if you're listening to my actual message, then it's like, GG, it's not even, like, impermanent loss is not a thing anymore. And on that same note as well, impermanent loss, that is if you opened a pool at X price, you bought Ethereum at X price, Ethereum is worth more if you sold at the perfect top, which most of you fucking did it. And that's why we're watching this video right now, because you didn't sell at the top and the market's down and you're sad. Anyways.
I like when Parker tries to justify himself. Yeah, not for noobs. Yeah. Level 0999, I was asking before this channel or before this conversation for somebody to come in here and try and test us, okay? Level 0999, okay? Again, I want you to win. It doesn't sound like you want anybody in this chat to win. Maybe it's because your wife's having a bad time, or let me finish. Maybe because your wife having a bad time, or maybe because you didn't get the bull run like you expected, just like us. But bro, just fucking lock in or just leave. But go on, because again, I want you to win.
He said, yeah. He said yes for you, but not for noobs. So maybe he's just trying to be like, hey, don't go tight ranges, because tight ranges will fuck you up. And I would agree with that if that's what he's trying
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. But when somebody's called level 0, you're probably at level 0. Sorry, bro. But, at least... Yeah. I'm going to come up with level 10. Anyways, let's keep this going down. Level 0. Hopefully you're doing well. It's no hate. It's all love. We try and have a joke in this channel, and we're not too serious. But again, we want you to win. You're locked in. Good man. So, action 3. This is where it gets fun, right? This is where it can really, and this is when we start to do the onboarding calls. I love this part that when we do, and I love talking about this with you guys, because this is when we need to start thinking about, we've got options, right? But having options is better than having no options. Having options is better than saying, hey, I've got 1 Bitcoin. I would like to sell this one day, but I would also like to keep the Bitcoin. That is what you call having no options, right? So this is a good place to be, but it's a very important question to be, right? So we talked about how in the example that having 2 to 3 kind of pools is most of the guys' goal when they're getting started out. So Parker, I know you love to talk about this till you're blue in the face. Level 0999 fam, yep. You've got 3 options, right? There's really 4 to 5 options, but I like to keep it simple, right? So let's just say we had that Ethereum, an XRP pool, just an example, replace that with whatever's in your portfolio and what you guys are looking at. I think for blockchain money, it was Bitcoin, etc. Well, let's say you have a pool and you're at 30K, you're making it 6 to 12% per month, like 10% on average, right? Option number 1 is like you're making 3K per month in dollar value. Again, it depends what you want to treat towards your goals. Is it the cash or is it getting more coins in 2026, right? Option 1 could be compound to stack for more coins, right? So e.g., you have a 30K bag as an example, well, in month one, on average, if prices reflectively stay the same, obviously it's not going to be as easy as that. Well, now you're at 33 and then you're printing 3.3K the next month. Okay. It's just a nice way to say it. You have to decide what you want to do. Option two is you can use fees to sell to maybe just Bitcoin or maybe Ethereum or maybe high conviction plays. Or you could say, well, I want some cash, right? Maybe I want to scale down hours. I'm making that 3K per month and the 40 hours are fucking killing me, Jake. Well, okay, well, maybe if your boss is nice, you can say, oh, okay, I want to get 20 hours, or maybe I want to quit my job and do something on the side, right? Well, that's when you could keep 1.5 in this example, still buy crypto for free, but now you have an extra 1.5 to scale down your hours. Okay, so it's just about thinking and just how you want to play this. Again, my goals are not your goals. Or option four, oh shit, where it can get a little bit crazy, is you take your Ethereum XRP pool and then you can scale to another pool, and that's all about just keeping the flywheel spinning. Any thoughts on that?
I think that's not the best thing to do when the market is at the value zone that it is right now. But if we're at all-time highs, or if you think that the market is going to move down even more aggressively, then maybe you should sell the fees. That way you're just not exposed to the market and you can enjoy the fruits of your labor. If you already have a huge portfolio, like let's say, Grant, he could take some out and it's not going to affect his overall performance because he could take a couple grand out. And if he's making, upwards, if he's made 2K a day before, then it's like, I mean, is he going to notice? Probably not. So it depends on who you are. If you're in that 30K category looking for your first 3,000 a month, I'd probably focus on compounding for a while and buying more assets for the bull run.
Again, to be clear, there's no right or wrong answer. It's up to your individual goals, right? You have to decide what suits you best, and you can change, right? You can totally change down the line. Again, you have full control. We're not staking, we're not locked up, but just with this, for a percentage of your bag, I just feel like you're doing something, okay? You're doing a little bit of damage. You're moving the needle, right? And that's what it's all about, because if you don't, you're just stuck there being a hodler. And you know what hodl means? It means hold on for dear life. Last time I checked, I don't want to hold on for dear life. I want to win for sure. I want to have input equals output. I want just to feel like I'm doing something rather than just holding, like praying, because nobody controls the price of cryptocurrency. We don't know where the price is going to go today, tomorrow, next year. We don't know. What we can do is we can say, okay, we're looking at the mathematics of these pools. We're getting more Ethereum and XRP in this example. We're maybe cashing some out to live our life. At least we're doing something. So let's break it down even more. Boxes we must tick to find a good pool. Now, Parker, I made this a while ago. You're probably going to disagree with some of these stuff, but this is just what I made 2 to 3 months ago. So when you decide to put your assets to work, there's a few things you need to actually understand. We talked about, or the guy talked about, platform security. Okay, that could be VFAT. It could be Orica for Solana pools. It could be Turbo Finance and Cedar for Sui pools. You want to basically think, where are most people going? Has the website been alive for longer than 2 days? That would be a good thing. If the website just spawned out of nowhere, it's probably not a good thing, right? Because with cryptocurrency, there's no fucking refunds, right? You can't just call up your bank and charge back and you're fucked, right? You also need APIs or APYs or APRs, whatever you want to call it, that makes sense, right? Now, I'm not saying you need to go fucking crazy high. That's probably your range is too tight, or you're probably in some riskier coins that we talked about before. But you also don't want to get paid 1% per year because you're losing, right? It wouldn't make sense. So again, you have a DeFi pool, you have a TVL above a certain number. Parker, what do you think about the 100K? This is what the point I was going to say that you might disagree with me. I put TVL above 100K question mark.
I think it's good for beginners. A lot of the 100K benchmark is because it's going to keep people from making, like, I don't know, for lack of a better term, retarded mistakes, because you're going to be looking for some crazy APR and then the TVL is only $500 in there. I mean, it's a good rule of thumb, as you can find high TVL assets if the TVL in the pool is a little lower. So like if I'm finding a smaller Bitcoin pool that has a 60K TVL, I mean, I might throw a couple grand in there. But again, the size of the pool would kind of adjust how much I want to go with. Someone like Grant, who's trying to put multiple 6 figures in a pool, he's not going to be able to go to a 100K pool even, because he'll increase the size of the pool by 2-3x, right? So he's got to find those more $1 million pools. So it's very relative. A good rule of thumb when you're beginning is just 100K. It's going to weed out a bunch of bullshit, so which will be good for you.
Yeah. So again, framework. Just an example, is the DeFi pool above TVL? If it's no, it could be considered too risky. But again, just what he said, there's pros and cons. If you're a bigger player, obviously, if you have 500K, you're not going to, it doesn't make sense to put it in 100K TVL, right? And then you have the second part, which is the APY is above 5%. There could be yes or no answers to them. Again, it just depends how much you have and how much you want, right? If it's no, you could look again if you wanted more. If it's yes, you start deploying. Again, there's no right answer or one answer that fits all. It comes down to your personal backs. Okay. Next point is your starting points plus time. So obviously we've talked about pretty much everything else. Now it's time to deploy. Okay. So again, we choose our platform. We look at the APYs we're willing to accept. First month, do the hit or goes. And if not, we adjust or we just, we'll look again. The wrong way or the Jeffrey way would be, again, this is the biggest kind of message of this video. You buy coins, e.g. you sell your high conviction bags to chase APYs, e.g. you're looking at stupid APYs because you have $500 and you haven't done the work in the real world and you're trying to get rich off APYs. This would be a terrible way to make sense. You realize the asset you've now chose have went down week after week after week and you're sitting there, well, how's this happening? It doesn't make sense. Your fees aren't keeping up with the asset depreciation. You flip-flopped other coins you don't believe in. You then lose another 20, 50%, and then you decide you want to be a fucking trader. So if you can ignore this and just play the longer game, there's a reason why the longer game in anything makes sense. You don't go at the gym the first month, take steroids, and you're fucking Mr. Olympia. You're probably going to be in the fucking hospital, right? So there's a reason why the long way and the right way, and again, his fucking analogy to win for sure, is a real thing, right? Because most people in 2025 lost money, right? If you just did this in 2025 and didn't do the Jeffrey way, you almost would have made money. Almost would have made money. I don't see how you wouldn't have. So, got some questions.
Chad's saying we're lazing Grant too much. We're hyping Grant up too much. I think it's worth talking about Grant just because the game is different at that level.
We can talk about Grant.
He's going to have different rules. We're a 100K minimum TVL. Like that's something that would be relevant to him because he can't enter a pool like that.
Okay, let's talk about Grant. So this is Grant. I don't like talking about Grant too much, but like he's one of our best guys, and it just, if I seen this, it would piss me off. But I use anger at 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old Jake as motivation. I've told this story many times. When I seen the fucking Porsches and the guys in Dubai, like that fueled me to fucking take action, right? Some people see this, or they see the Porsches and the Lamborghinis and they get pissed off, and they just get depressed. So it just depends what kind of you person are. So some people like this, some people don't this, but this is a real example, right? I can't remember when this was, but he sent us a screenshot. His bad month is 60K per month. So again, some people will say, no, it's a scam, blah, 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 but you can see it here, right? He's doing a bit of both, right? He's 2.5K, 2.2K, 2K. He's at the point where he really can just do what he wants. But the point is that nobody seems to understand is he done the work in the real world. He had a bunch of real estate. I think he is still an orthodontist making a bunch of money, but he just wanted his freedom back, right? That was his goal. His goal wasn't necessarily to do Thailand with the boys. He was like, replace Thailand with the boys with Thailand and his wife or something, right? This wasn't necessarily his goal, but he just wanted to buy back his time, right? So somebody out there that's maybe 18, 19, 20, 21 and doesn't have a fucking six-figure portfolio, it's going to feel out of reach. So if that motivates you, to sum up his point, to talk about Grant, great. But if it doesn't, there's nothing really else you can do. Is that what you meant by talking about Grant? Or did you want to go deeper on Grant?
I'm not sure exactly what he meant. I think he might just be joking around here too. But I mean, that shouldn't make you mad that we're talking about a larger portfolio. I mean, that's because the game is different at different levels. We're just trying to show both. This video is kind of more towards that 30 to 50K portfolio, but there are guys that I'm sure are watching that have a large portfolio stack. And so it's nice to be clear that, hey, you're going to be looking for a bigger pool than a 100K TVL pool. And your game's going to be different. When you're making 1 to 2K a day like Grant, it's just a different game completely where the rules change.
Yeah, the rules change. He doesn't have to chase fucking dog coin, cat coin, AI coin. He can just stick to what he's in. He doesn't have to chase fucking tight ranges. He doesn't have to chase anything. He can just sit there, live his life, and do what he wants. But you either take this as motivation or you take it as, fuck, I'm depressed, there's no chance. So it's up to you. Questions. Martin Brothers, do you think we're on the way down to a bear market officially in your opinion? Now, again, I don't want to be disrespectful, but you've completely missed the fucking message of this video, right? That was not the point of this video. I made this fucking presentation yesterday, and you came in here just disregarding the presentation, and you're asking where the price is going tomorrow. We want to, and again, it's all love. We want to be in a way where we don't really necessarily care about the price, because that's what happened right now at the start of the stream. Somebody went, Bitcoin's pumping. I didn't even check. Couldn't even care. It's nice, but like, you need to be in a way that we stop looking at the prices of anything, right? Because that's like you, Parker. You said before this stream, your weights went up. I can see it in your face. You're just looking a little bit puffy, right? But if you keep checking that scale every single day, you're going to be depressed,
That's
right?
crazy.
You're going to be zoom in on his face. You're going to be depressed, right? So like you can't.
Bro, read your
Go on.
comment. 17 grand spread across 120 coins, brother. Fuck me.
I can't believe how that's possible. How is that possible? That's like saying you have 10 girlfriends. Like, there's too much going on. What's the math? Somebody do the math. 17,000
That's
divided by one.
$140. That's $140 in 120 coins.
Bro, you know what the problem with that is?
No way. I refuse to believe that's real.
Let's take it for benefit of the doubt. Do you know what the problem with that is, Parker?
Can't manage that shit. You'll never be able to sell anything at a profit. You won't even know when it's in fucking profit, bro. You can't even effectively manage that.
Yeah, you might as well just give me the 17 grand, bro, because that's going to be fucking a waste of 17 grand. At least let me have it and fucking buy some fuel. No, but like dead ass, like if you guys have got more than fucking
top 100 lists,
and it's probably not even, man. Like again, we want you to win, but like, trend is your friend. You can't be managing 120 coins with a $17,000 portfolio. Whatever the maths you did, you probably have some more and less. You probably have some. Trend is your friend. Oh no, I'm playing Trend. I thought it said Trend. I was like, yeah, Trend is your friend, bro. But it can also be your enemy. $17,000 on 120 coins is just a disaster. We can't help you. I mean, we're not going to fucking help you, bro. But the best piece of advice I can give you is a friend to a friend. If my friend said, hey, Jake, I've got 120 coins and I've got $17,000, I would say we need to liquidate 90 of them. Okay? 90 of them need to be liquidated ASAP.
He said just 120 Solana coins. Okay. So I think he's just saying, yeah, he has 120 Solanas. He did not word that right the first time. At all.
We got to lock in. So you got 120 Solana coins. Okay, bring out an Orica and start making a bunch of money. Spread is too thin. This makes sense to me. I need to divorce my bags. Yeah, again, we're not telling you guys to sell your portfolio, man. Like, I'm stubborn, right? If I look at my portfolio, I've got many coins in the red. I refuse to sell coins in the red, but it just goes to show you that you're not going to pick all horses, right? So let's just say that 120 coins was a real thing and he didn't fuck up his language there. Like, can you imagine the absolute mess in my portfolio? Like, I've got Illumium minus 10. If you can show this, Mark, I've got fucking, Medicaid minus 1. I'll be having a fucking hard time. Gala's minus 13. But again, all you need, if you're just playing the HODL game, regardless of what we talked about with DeFi, you just need a couple of big W's. And that goes for in your life. You can take L's the whole day fucking long, but 1-2 big W's, and you'll be absolutely fine. But you cannot be gambling anymore, especially what we realized in 2025 with that 4-year cycle. It never happened for most of us. These gaming coins, these AI coins, these YouTubers that are making the top next coin, like, it's not going to help you, bro. It really is not. So yeah.
Yeah.
120. Yeah.
Chat's asking, how many coins are you guys managing? Jake just kind of showed you his, but really, I mean, I don't think you need more than 8. You don't need more than 8, bro. There's no way to have a nice diversified portfolio, but it can't be over diversified past 8 coins. Otherwise, you just start to lose it. You start to lose the effectiveness because especially when you're starting with a smaller capital, the more you can concentrate that capital in certain coins, the more money you'll make more money up front. You can diversify later. My portfolio, pretty boring, but it's like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Sui, Chainlink, some Arrow, and I've sold a lot of other shit. Do I even have much?
Yeah,
else? Not.
He's kind of old. He just likes the blue chips. He like, again, this is the guy that's packing 1 month out of Thailand. He sent me his list of like, how many boxers should I take? Should I take 7 pairs of socks? Should I do this and do this? It's 1 month out.
That's not even
like,
right.
I can pull up the screenshot live on chat. Do you know what I mean? I can pull it up. I've seen your little to-do list. Swearing your girlfriend's life. Did this last time. I'll pull it up.
Yeah, I did not ask you. Should I bring 7 socks? That's crazy.
You have that. You have that in your list, bro. I've got your list from last night. Anyways,
I got a packing list.
It's 1 month away, young man. You'll be fine. Thailand has closed too. It's not third world, bro. You can go to the mall. Okay, you're gonna buy stuff. You're gonna take stuff home. You do not need to bring fucking 20 pairs of fucking t-shirts, bro. You'll be fine. Anyways,
trying to look fresh, bro.
Good question.
I gotta look good on the podium after I, win in the ring. You know what I'm saying?
Anyways, I have I have I have 300. I'm guessing that's dollars invested in crypto. Okay, I know a lot of people there really say, "Fuck, what have you been doing?" Like you've started. Okay, $300 is still $300 better than somebody's living paycheck to paycheck. You know, we respect that, right? Attempted to grow it to $5,000, and I'm also paying off my debt. Should I just focus on the debt and then continue growing my crypto? It's like a Dave Ramsey question, isn't it? Bobby would be good at doing this. What do you
It
think,
depends on the
Parker?
debt, bro. It depends on the debt. If it's a credit card and you're paying that 30%, bro, just go after that shit, man. Like, yeah, you got to go after that. I mean, that's how I started, man. Like, my journey started when both sets of I have divorced parents, by the way. I've told this story a few times. So they don't like each other, right? Like, at all. And I had them both at the dinner table, and they're basically just absolutely chewing my ass out a couple years ago. As I was like 5K in credit card debt as well. I think a little bit over that. And they're like, what the fuck? And I was working, making no money. And I made like, what, 2K a month, maybe after taxes. And I had to work on just literally just fixing my life. And that's why I started working multiple jobs. And then fucking first step was paying off everything. And then I started to have this free money. And I learned that, oh shit, now I have extra money each month. What do? And I started watching fucking Andrew Tate videos type shit like that. I was like, oh, what's Bitcoin? Started going down that rabbit hole. And then that's just the game. And then it started and it spun into this giant life change that literally 4 years ago, bro, I was literally you, the exact same fucking message I would have sent because I was 5K in credit card debt. My parents, but at least my parents were ready to knock me around, you know? So if your parents aren't going to do that for you, we'll be the ones to knock you around and tell you to fix your fucking shit and like game on. It's game time. And it's been a long road. And I've sacrificed the last 3 years, bro, like where I've been working two jobs the whole time. And I haven't hung out with friends in like 3 years. I haven't drank in like 2 years. Jake, you're kind of the same person. It's like, I've learned to have fun working and love growing the business and the portfolio. That's now fun to me, but I haven't had like fun like a lot of you guys would think is fun in forever. Me and Jake are so excited to just go film videos and work out in Thailand and fucking box and train and hit the gym. And it's like, for a lot of people, that sounds like hell. But to us, that is like, dude, it's going to be the best freaking trip in the world. And it's just totally different mindset. So you just got to work on that mindset, start to get paying it down, man, and then you'll start to free up some capital and you can just keep growing and get better. But you got to do the hard work, man. Got to do the hard work.
Bro, that was beautiful, man. There was a little tear in my eye. You also forgot to mention how you joined my group first. So like you obviously like, hey Jake, I fuck with this guy. He was a little member of my group back in the day. He used to join my group on his little treadmill, and he's like, bro, he used to fucking come on calls, talk about Sui. That was beautiful, and it's a big point he mentioned there because, you know, some people are just not about it, and we understand that. My dad's always like, oh, you're live streaming a game with that American guy. That's what he says. He just calls you the American guy, right? He hears his voice and he's like, oh, fuck that guy. He's talking that stupid accent. You're going to live stream. What's the point? But like his life is not my life, right? So you're either about it or you're not. He says I overwork. I'm like, fucking, I shouldn't be working this much. Come and play some golf. And I'm like, yeah, I'd love to right now, but like right now it's fucking cold. Now we just rather fucking grind and make a YouTube video and try and help fucking 50 people out. So it just depends what you want. Some people, and we've talked about this before, there's a guy that continuously comes to our live streams. He is a guy that has a property in England, and he just wanted to live off that in Thailand, right? I forgot his name. His name was like Graham or something, right? He has that England property, and I think he was getting made 1.5K, and we brought up the websites on Sunday. Like, my goal has always been out of massive pain, right? I wanted the fucking stupid stuff. That's just what, and I just can't stop myself. A lot of people would have just said, okay, we'll just cruise right now. Parker, I thought when you started to make some money, you would have said, okay, I want to cruise. But like, he's like, just keep going. I'm like, fuck, I see the fire in your eyes. Some people just have a different sort of fire in their body, and there's nothing wrong with that. And some people will say, oh, you work too much. Like, Parker, you probably, go on.
It's the eternal development that feels good, the getting better. And so the extra money we start making, it's not the money itself that feels good. It's the stuff like, what did we do yesterday? We gave our sales guys raises, right? More money. And so does that help us at all? Not really, but it helps them a lot. And they were so grateful and excited.
I was so fucking mad. He just took 2% from me. He increased our sales guy. I'm like, bro, that's 2%. I've got a fucking Lamborghini to pay for, bro. I've got fucking shit to pay for, and you're paying for our guys, bro. I can't afford the 2%, bro. I'm broke. And you're sitting there giving raises, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, but they were so.
No, it's right. It's right. It's about. Yeah. It's about giving back, right? I brought my brother, not the best car, an Audi, a decent car. He wanted a car. And it was like, okay, bro, like, you don't need to go do another loan. His lease was coming up or whatever you call it. I don't know these fucking terms, right? And I was like, bro, I'll just buy you a car, bro. Just chill. I'll get the car. Don't ask about anything else for a fucking couple of years, but here's the car. Choose the car. Sent the money. He bought the car, right? It's it's sometimes about just helping out people. Then he's never fucking. We used to just play PlayStation together. He would never have done the same for me. I'd like to think if he had money, he would do it for me. But like, it was just nice to fucking see him have a car, right? That he didn't have to pay any finance for him. He could just fucking get on with his fucking life. But his goals are not my goals, right? He can't fucking post videos, fucking teach guides, etc., etc. He wants to live a different lifestyle with his girlfriend. That's fine. Maybe he'll pop out a couple of kids. For me, that's not my goals right now. My goal is constant fucking work, man. And just some people just have it, some people don't. Some people are in between, and it doesn't really matter. Again, your goals are your goals. My goals are not your goals. So you just have to understand what you want. But here's the last thing I will say. We're timing up here. Most of your goals require fucking money, right? A piece of paper, because there's no fun being in the street, okay? Being fucking homeless in the cold, especially in fucking Glasgow. So at the end of the day, we need some sort of fucking income, some sort of money. And then it just depends how far you go play on the line after that. So at the end of the day, we need fucking money. And if you don't have as much money as you do, that's fine. But at least you can take some fucking action, because once you get to 60, 70, whatever years old, it'd be nice to fucking tell a good story to your grandkids of how you fucking tried, right? On your deathbed, etc. It's not about the cars. It's not about the piece of metal. It's not about the watch. It's about you fucking did something you believed in. That's what I would say. And if I was to tell my younger version of myself when I get to 60, 70, 80, hopefully one day, I'd be happy with that. And I could say I did something. So that's really all I've got.
There's no way in the world on my deathbed, no way in the world on my deathbed, or say I get really sick next year, and like, there's no way I'm going to be like, oh, I really wish I went to the pub or the club every fucking weekend the last 3 years. There's no way. But had I been doing that instead, and just known that something like even what I'm doing right now was a possibility, I think there'd be nothing but regret. Nothing but regret. And so it's just about that and seeing that long-term vision. And everyone here can do it. I'm a living testament to that. Jake is as well. And it's going to take a lot of hard work and time. And you won't do as much in the first year that you think you're going to do. But 3 years later, bro, it's so fucking different. Life is so
yeah, man. Somebody said, I think the beauty is in the struggle. It is, man. It really is fucking nice to just see people work. There's 56 people on this live chat right now. You guys are obviously fucking serious about doing something with crypto, something with income. You know, you definitely just don't want to hear my fucking accent, right? So you're putting through the struggle of watching this unedited YouTube video. You probably want to fucking do something for your fucking family, your friends, your fucking grandma, your fucking grandkids, whatever, right? But it's not going to happen by fucking accident, right? We've talked about this many times before. It's getting fucking expensive to fucking pay rent, to pay electricity, to pay your car bills, to fucking drag yourself to the 9 to 5. Like, if you want that to change, you have to do something different that you did in 2025, right? Because you're not going to win the lottery. You're not going to fucking be praised by some magical fucking fairy.
No one's coming to save you.
No one's coming to save you. No one's coming to save you. And once you can realize that, it's better to realize that at a younger age. I was lucky enough to just be so pissed off in my teens and early 20s that I was like, okay, I understand this. There's no fucking free lunch. It needs to be me, right? And there is a lonely period as well. There's a lonely period as well where like you're going to be in this weird between stage if you're going to the pub and then you're in between phase and like your friends are like, hey, what are you doing? Like, why do you think you're better than us? And that's fine. You'll find new friends. That's how we met me, Wet Parker. That's how I met Ryan. That's how I met Alex in Thailand. So, you know, it's up to you at the end of the day. I would say start now. If you're young, it's better. But if you're 30s, 40s, 50s, it doesn't really fucking matter. You can still start. Okay. It's just up to you guys if you really fucking want it. So that's all I got. Parker, you got anything else?
Chapter, Jake.
Your lonely
I only
chapter.
met you because of the lonely chapter. I joined your group because I had no friends that cared about money or crypto.
And look at you now, bro. Look at you now. We work together. We're going to be in Thailand together. You know, we're going to be in Vegas together. And honestly, you got to find those guys that are about it. It's a better way. But that's all I got, guys. We'll see you with Parker on Sunday. Beautiful stream, but